Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share yet another update on my experience with the Microsoft Surface Pro 3. Today I wanted to touch on build quality, something I often cover because even though a device on paper may seem like a dream device based on specifications alone, execution often tells a different story. The good news with the Surface Pro 3 is that Microsoft has stayed true to build quality from Gen 1 all the way through this latest and greatest Gen 3. So even though we got all of these enhancements, and when I say all of these, I'm talking about the larger, higher res screen, the new and improved cameras, in my opinion, the better aspect ratio with that screen, the 3:2, that will allow you to use this not only as a media consumption device, but also as a traditional note-taking device in a way that most 16:9 devices are far less ideal. Also for reading and split screen, there are all sorts of benefits to this new aspect ratio. We also got a better kickstand. This tablet's lighter than the first two generations, even though it does have that larger screen. And we do have an upgraded processor, even though it's a very marginal one at that. We also have new lower price points, which would again make you think Microsoft has done some sort of bait and switch, or something had to be done in order to get that new low $799 entry level. But when it comes down to it, Microsoft really has only made this product better in every way, including the build quality that I'm talking about today. So let's start off with that display. We gained some pixels. That means a higher possibility of getting dead pixels. Absolutely none on my Surface Pro 3 out of the box. In terms of backlight bleed, another thing that you generally might be concerned with, even on previous generations of the Surface Pro, I saw some that did have some bleed, nothing too significant. On this one, absolutely none. So that's another really good sign, something that I know will put a lot of you at ease. Another thing I want to talk about is dust under the screen. Part of the design here was to ensure that we were going to have a completely clean experience, and I can say that rings true. No dust under the display, and that is something that makes its way into just about every laptop these days. I don't care what brand, what manufacturer you believe in or subscribe to. At the end of the day, just about all of them are susceptible to getting dust under the screen. And in no way am I saying that this is a perfect device and there will not be units out there with a dead pixel, backlight bleed, or dust under the screen. But with the frequency that I go through devices, I can tell you firsthand that I often am seeing that dust. I'm often seeing those dead pixels. So to not see that on a first batch, literally, of pre-ordered Surface Pro 3s, because this isn't the only one that I've seen, it bodes well for Microsoft maintaining a very high quality control standard, or level I should say, and that's exactly what you want when you're buying a premium device like this. I want to flip the device over because that's another area. I mean, the design on this thing is beautiful. I've been over it before. We've got that magnesium build that is really just top-notch, best in class. But what has blown me away as it comes into focus, hopefully here, is that we have absolutely no issue anymore with fingerprints. Not that the first or second gen was terrible, but just absolutely none. And I know the lighting is not incredible right now, but I can assure you that it just does not pick up fingerprints. As I try to bring this into focus, you can see it's just no fingerprints. So I mean, I'm not sure exactly how they did it, but this is a pet peeve I think just about everybody has. No one wants their device to look gross after using it, even if their hands are actually clean. Right here, that's a good example of that. And if this was my Razer Blade 14, it would look like I had eaten a sandwich on it rather than just used it. So Microsoft got this right, and that's an important part of build quality. All of the ports are solid. No issues going around the body in terms of any type of uneven surfaces or buttons that were wobbling or felt like they were going to fall off. I mean, everything is just spot on. And the kickstand improvement is just epic. I mean, when you talk about the fact that we've got the regular, as video is playing here, and go ahead and lower that. But we've got our traditional mode, but then the ability to have that full 150 degrees, and it's so seamless, so easy to achieve. I just don't see what they've given up. Build quality seems to only have gotten better in order to accommodate this new thin profile. The machine really does not get that hot unless you're really pushing it with something like Photoshop, light video editing if you really want to push it. But otherwise, rarely will you hear the fans kick on. This is a quieter generation than the previous two, so that's another benefit of this latest generation. So also the ventilation all being at the top, another good design, because when this is actually, you know, on your lap, on the bed, wherever it is, essentially all of the ventilation is going to be where it should be, at the top of the device. And that's really a very good thing in my opinion. So they've got a lot right here, and the build quality is really second to none. And I wanted to bring that up because too frequently do I see devices that I'm excited about that seem like they're going to be fantastic, and then the shortcoming ends up being the execution. So Surface Pro 3 not only looks great in terms of its design and engineering, also in terms of its specifications, but at the end of the day, also in its build quality, the quality of those materials and craftsmanship. Again, no uneven or rough corners, no separating glass, just none of the things that you really should not have to worry about in this day and age when buying a high-end piece of electronics. In this case, a tablet that also happens to be an Ultrabook and the best in breed of that sort of device. So just wanted to update all of you on the quality control, build quality of the Surface Pro 3. It is fantastic, so do not fear if that is in any way holding you back from picking up a Surface Pro 3. You can pretty much put that one to rest right now. As far as software bugs, that's another story I'll be addressing in another video. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.